Nothing? Really?
No. I'm done.
That's crazy.
I'm done.
Wow. No. 18th episode, and that's what it took. 18 times.
All right.
All right. There you go. See, something like that. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the latest episode of Behind the Studs. We're on episode 18, Jim.
Episode 18.
We're getting
Just
up
seems
there.
like yesterday.
I know.
June. We started in June.
Was
right?
it June?
Yeah.
Really?
June.
Wow. Yeah, it's been going for a little while now.
Yeah.
I think we should keep doing it, too.
I think we should, too.
Yeah, popular demand.
Yeah. Yeah.
We hear it every day. Please don't stop. Please don't stop.
The phone is ringing off the wall. Yeah, man.
All right. Well,
Awesome.
today we got a great guest with us.
Great guest with us today.
Why don't you introduce him for me, Jim?
Oh boy.
All right. So, the one and only, the man, the myth, the legend,
Woo!
Nigel McFarland. Correct?
Yes, sir.
I said it right. There he is.
Very well done.
Right here.
Service.
Yes.
Okay. Explain your job, sir, so people will tremble in their seats. Go.
Well, quite honestly, I don't know why I actually have a job. I mean, it's
I know why you have a job. Because you are freaking awesome.
Do you have a wife?
Awesome.
I do.
That's why you have a job.
That's why you
doing this though. I mean, it's really simple.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So, as you know, Jimmy, I help homeowners to qualify for the solar incentives, take advantage of the solar incentives, and get their power from solar instead of having to buy from the utilities.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. Now, when you say incentives, what do you mean by the incentives? Like, what are they getting? Is it more of a tax credit? Is it something else?
So, yeah, I mean, the whole thing started with the federal mandate where the utility companies must generate 30% of their power from renewable energy.
Okay.
And so, excuse me. So the federal government has a 30% tax write-off. And on the state side, you have rebates as well. So if you're buying the system, you have that opportunity to benefit from the federal tax write-off, as well as the state. If you're leasing it, that tax credit as well as the rebates actually factor into your lease to reduce the cost of the lease.
Oh, okay.
So it's either directly or indirectly you're benefiting from the.
Nice. Yeah. What do you prefer? You prefer homeowners to lease the system or buy the system?
I don't have a preference. I mean, I present all the information to the homeowners, and they make their own decisions.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, if you're middle-aged, younger than middle-aged, then buying the system makes sense, because then you're looking at maybe a 50 years of to amortize that investment. But most people go for the lease, regardless of
now, do you consider Jimmy middle-aged or?
Yeah, watch yourself. Watch yourself.
Jimmy's leasing though, so I'm guessing.
Yeah, I was listening to this wording very carefully.
Yes, me too.
Yeah,
I was waiting for my punchline.
Yeah. Well, that's a question too, because I broadcasted once I got solar power. Like, I got solar power. I love it.
He was thrilled, man. Thrilled.
Yeah. And they said,
loves you guys too.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So now you're with Coast to Coast. That's the name of the company you're with?
Correct. So, I mean, we're the guys who go out on behalf of SunPower and inform homeowners of what's available.
Okay.
And we qualify them for the program. And SunPower handles everything from there. I mean, it's their own installation team. Excuse me. SunPower they're manufacturing their own equipment. So they're not like buying panels from China. This is a U.S. company. So everything is fully warranted for 25 years. You have one warranty on the entire system, not multiple warranties on panels, and then separate warranties for inverters and so on. It's one system.
Okay.
And as Jimmy knows, I mean, it's one of the things that I went over with him is that as far as ranking in the industry, SunPower is number one in terms of the quality of the panels. I mean, SunPower is doing Google, Apple, they just did Bose now.
Wow.
So most large companies use SunPower just because the systems last so long, and it takes so long for them to degrade over time. I mean, when you invest in a system like this, one of the big questions is how long is the system going to last?
Sure.
And so SunPower, written into your lease or your loan, there is a production guarantee, which pretty much states that the system will lose efficiency at 0.02% per year. So in 25 years, that's like 5 years efficiency in 25 years. I mean,
Right.
that's
Oh, that's great.
yeah,
You said that they're like the best.
They're
panel.
the best panels.
Yep.
And if they got broken, they still work because there's a webbing inside that he showed me.
It's a completely different design from traditional panels.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh. So like a hailstorm or something like that.
Absolutely,
Would be
yeah,
fine.
It's,
wow.
it's
That's
designed
crazy.
to work. And they're light. It's like it's a piece of Luan, but you can stand on it. I'm
Yeah.
watching them. I get pictures of them guys standing on the
Yeah.
stuff. It's like, wow. Yeah. And it's just tough and-
they're actually designed to they can take a direct hit from a golf ball at like 55 miles an hour.
Wow.
that's something.
Huh.
That is something.
That is. That's pretty amazing.
And I'm just watching. I just watched my I have no electrical bill anymore. It's
That's
gone.
kinda nice.
It's gone.
Yeah.
And he was like, "What do you mean? What do you mean you got money? No, that's not right." I'm like, "Send me the bill. Send me the bill." And then all of a sudden I got it. It's like it's big old goose egg.
Wow.
It's great.
But you know what, too? So when you think about the fact that this summer hasn't really been that great, we've had
No.
so many days of overcast.
Yep.
I would expect that maybe you'd have some kind of shortfall, but
Sure.
most folks are quite fine. I mean,
Really?
I haven't really had a complaint.
So they're
Yeah.
they're generating that much.
Oh yeah, the
electricity.
efficiency is
It's
the best,
crazy.
it's the best out there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
well, that's what he told me. He said the efficiency was from these other companies that came out at the competitors, and I was like, okay, I think I'll pull the trigger and I'll get it. And I called him because the history between Nigel and I is he used to work for Dish,
Oh,
and
no
he put
kidding.
my Dish. And he's a subcontractor, so he doesn't. He worked for. So he was a subcontractor for Dish.
Yep.
They call him. He goes out. And he puts the dish on the house.
Right.
And as soon as I met him, we gelled. We were like, okay, we're brothers from different mothers, but this is cool. So we exchanged numbers. He says, anytime you have a problem, just call me, Jimmy. I'll come and fix it. And he was awesome.
Yep.
When he worked for Dish.
Yep.
Any questions, I could call him anytime. Boom. So I called him and I said, listen, you got Nigel. Can you come take the dish down? I'm getting solar power from another company. And he was like, no, you're not. I'm coming over. I work for SunPower. And he says, Google SunPower. I'll see you tomorrow. And he showed up and he
Nice.
whipped out the laptop. He goes, here, look at this. Look at this. This is what I got. And he said, I'm just going to say what you said because it's true. I said, they're giving me 73% efficiency or power from their panels.
Yep.
He looks at me and he goes, yeah, this is what I can give you. It was 130%.
Jeez.
And I'm like,
Wow.
when are you guys going to install this? Because my electrical bill was $325. So
Wow.
I'm like,
Do you have electric
boom.
heat or?
No.
No, you don't. Okay.
Air conditioners. Remember with the air
yeah,
conditioner
yeah.
thing?
Yeah.
And space heaters were used in the house because
Gotcha.
when we had the kids living there,
Yeah.
there was space heat in the rooms and stuff. So that was sucking it up.
Wow.
So that's where we're at. That's where I'm done. Boom. I'm very, very happy. So we have some questions to ask. 'cause
Yeah,
people
absolutely.
ask
I mean,
about
I've got a bunch of
SunPower.
questions too, and I was telling Jimmy I was so happy that you were coming in because still to this day, people will ask me, they're like, "So what about solar power? What do you think? And what are you hearing?" And it's kind of like, well, I've been doing this for a little while, so I was used to those supposedly huge government tax credits that were coming, and people were trying to buy up the systems like crazy.
Yep.
And then now people keep asking me like, is it still as popular? If I put them on my house, is that good for resale? That sort of thing.
That's
So
the one
those
thing. I get that. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
The resale thing. Could you explain that a little bit to people? So I have a 20-year lease on it, but I'm out of there in 10 years. If I'm out of there in 10 years, okay, boom. It's a selling point to the new customer. The new customer moves in. The people that live there, they can either take over the lease or
They could buy it.
Or they
Well,
could
you
buy
could
it.
buy it and factor into the value of the house, or they could buy it themselves.
Yeah.
There's a one-page document that transfers that system over to the new homeowner. They need a credit score of 650, but if they're buying the house, they have
should.
credit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I can't understand why a customer, because mine are on the back of the house,
Right.
so they're not ugly.
Right, that's
So
what
that's
I've
what people
seen.
hate.
Yeah, I think if you don't see them, they're
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So if you're seeing the efficiency that you're getting out of that, why would you want to take that off? You know what I'm
Correct.
saying?
Now, does a warranty also switch over to the new
Absolutely,
homeowner
yes,
stuff?
absolutely.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
It's a win-win right there, too.
It is.
Right?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, and they can, obviously if they didn't like it, they could just have it removed. I mean, they could pay you to have it removed, or
How does that work?
Yeah.
The new homeowner?
Yeah. Say if they didn't want it, which I don't know why they wouldn't. If you can show bills that there's zero.
Right. So if later on they decide, absolutely, but not only that. So you got into this program while all the incentives are available. So
Right.
that cost is very low.
Yep.
So anyone who is taking over, they're going to be taking advantage of the fact that you got in when the incentives are there. Now the incentives are starting to go away.
Are they? Yeah.
Which is unfortunate that it's going
State
away
or
so
government?
quickly.
Which one? Both.
Both.
Really? Yeah.
Well, the federal not yet, but the state, yes. We're starting to see the savings, kind of reduce.
Yeah.
And it's, I think by the end of 2019, most of the incentives are going to be gone.
Really?
Federal too? Federal too?
The federal is going to start to reduce. I think it's going to go down to about 20%.
Well, I know Connecticut also got rid of the tax credit for energy efficient windows and doors and stuff like that. Just it used to be if it was energy efficient, you had no tax.
Right. So,
now you get taxed on it.
Right. So
Because we got no money.
We got no money.
yeah. So another big issue is the utility companies fighting the net metering. Net metering pretty much protects you in the sense that when your system is generating power, you're selling that power back to your utility company.
Yep.
That's
And
right.
They have to buy it from you at the same rate that they sell it back to you, so you get no bill.
Right.
So when net metering is gone, I think Malloy already signed it. I'm not sure, but you can verify this online.
Yep.
I think it goes away in 2019. If that happens, if you're grandfathered in, but when that happens, if it passes, then the economics are going to change because the savings, most of the savings right now is the fact that they have to sell you that power back at the same rate that you're right. So that's a big deal. Hopefully it doesn't pass. I think they did it in Utah or something, and they fought it and they had to repeal.
Well, the lobbyists are pretty strong here.
It is, yeah,
in Connecticut. So we seem to kind of, just go along with it.
Well, what do you think? They're going to say yes or no? No, we're not going to.
Oh, of course, no. Because utility companies are big here too, just like insurance companies.
Yeah.
So they'll get their way.
Yeah.
The thing is that the penetration isn't there yet, though. So it's really, and that's the other thing. So if they get to 30%, they could say, "Hell no, we don't want it anymore. You're done.
Right.
We're not letting anyone else in."
Right. So buy your systems now,
Yeah.
quick.
That is so stupid.
It
We are a
is, I know.
stupid state.
I mean, and we should be all about the renewable energy.
We were number
You know?
one. We were number one state to live in 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Look at us now.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I'm looking forward to looking at Connecticut in my rearview mirror someday.
Well, man, look, just for giggles, I did the demographics in Connecticut.
Yeah.
I was just doing it.
Yeah.
Wow. I can't even go there. I don't depress everybody. Let's just talk about solar power.
All right, all about solar.
It's got to swing
Sunshine,
back
happy.
up. Happy solar. And let me just add one other thing, too, about SunPower. And we talked about it last week. When I looked everything up and they were just talking about customer service, I did more investigating. The customer service was terrible out in California because that's a different company that leases, I guess, they're a franchise.
Well, right.
Is that how that works?
Well, what happened is that because SunPower is a massive technology company, right?
All right, okay.
So when they started out on the West Coast.
Okay.
And they were just pretty much just supplying the hardware, and they had subcontractors or contractors doing the installation and the sales.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And so most of that stuff you've seen, I think almost all of it is all from the West Coast because of that poor customer service from the contractors.
And that's
not
what
from
it
SunPower
was
directly, but from those
exactly.
contractors.
It was because, like I said, and I've said it since the beginning, when you see bad stars on something, you really need to investigate it. Besides you getting good stars, why are the bad stars? And that was what it was poor customer service. Here, off the chain. Unbelievable, great. Man, I made a phone call and the phone rang right away. How can we help you? Everything okay? Follow up, check up. How you guys doing? Any problems? James St. Patrick, the supervisor, calls me. How's the roof? You called me. How's your roof? Everything's good? And no problems? Had a little bit of an issue. Freaking straightened out right away. Bang. Oh, my God. So happy.
Yeah, I mean, customer service. Wow.
That's
Who
it.
would have thought?
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, other questions. So let's talk about the technology of the SunPower. Some of the people are saying, too, what was the question? Was basically if it rains all week.
Yeah, so one of our listeners sent in a question for you to say, do you lose power if there's a week of rain or if it's overcast for a long period of time?
Right, so you produce less. It's not that you lose power, as in the system doesn't work.
Right.
So you're net metered. I mean, everyone's still on the grid.
Yep.
So the solar system is pretty much supplying for the most part, most of what you need. With overproduction, more than what you need, depending on your roof and your shade situation in terms of tree coverage and so on.
Okay.
So yeah, absolutely. If you have weeks of overcast and so on, your system is going to produce less. However, in your lease or your loan, you have a production guarantee, and that production guarantee is for whatever offset your system was designed for. So if your system was designed for 80% offset, and your bill was typically $100, then the worst that could happen without overproduction is if the system underproduces. SunPower is actually financially responsible for that difference,
Wow.
which is pretty good. That
Damn straight.
Yeah.
yeah. So, but then if we go back to what Jimmy was talking about earlier, the fact that he was still at a zero bill from Eversource,
Yep.
even though we've had such a rough summer with so much overcast and
Right.
rain. So that speaks to the power of these panels and the efficiency.
Right.
And that's a big deal in the Northeast. We got winter coming. So
Absolutely.
you're gonna
Sure.
have,
Yeah.
you're
We
gonna
have a lot of gray months.
yeah, you're gonna have
ahead.
weeks of snow on the roof and all these things. So that overproduction during the spring, summer up to fall, your system is overproducing a lot of extra power, and that power is being banked with the utility companies.
So now that's a
Right.
good question too, though. That like if you're, if the pitch isn't enough on the roof, so that the panels are pitched, severely, at least a 10 pitch or a 12 pitch, does that snow buildup affect the total production or?
Right. So on the panels themselves, the panels are very low friction, right?
Yep.
So typically, and you're mostly
What does, just so the audience knows, what does low friction mean?
well, low friction means that it's a lot less likely to stick to the panels than your roof.
Gotcha.
It's gonna
Gotcha.
slide right
Okay.
off.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So you have that, but then potentially you could have a snowbank at the lower end of the roof, so that could affect the snow actually coming off the panels.
Okay.
But what you have to remember is that production guarantee, that whole design had already factored in New England climate. So they assume that these things will happen. So when they say 80% offset, 90% offset,
Yep.
they're assuming that these things will happen.
Okay.
So at the end, so at the end of the year, what you want to watch is at the end of the year, what percentage did you actually save? Did you end up, having to go into your pocket more than
Right.
you were supposed to, essentially?
Sure.
So if that's the case, then you have a check coming from SunPower.
Wow.
They actually write you a check.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Wow.
It's in your lease. So
That's pretty cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
And the other thing is that the panels are usually on the south side of the
Correct.
roof. So
Right.
that's where you're going to get sun anyways. That's
Right.
going to be the area with least snow.
Right.
Yep. True. Yeah.
Interesting.
So that was, so some people might not understand this too, and I'm still getting the gist of it. So I'm not home all day, but my panels are working during the day. I'm generating power, and it's going to the grid.
Yep.
And on your phone and on your computer, I can pull up my phone anytime. I can play like I'm Rockefeller. Oh, look at all this! Eversource, eat my ball. But so basically Eversource, it's all going to Eversource, and they're paying me or whatever. I'm building up credit.
Banking that, yeah.
So then,
Yeah.
the terrible weather that we've had and the humidity that we're having now, the ACs are still in the house, and we've had to use AC at night.
Yeah.
So all that credit that I built during the day starts to dwindle a little bit. I'm not using the kilowatts that I did during the day.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I'm using some of the credits that I have generated during the day.
Okay.
So I'm also saying what I've generated during the season in the year, and when we get by the winter, if we've got overcast days and we're getting crappy weather and I'm not generating the power that I was generating, it's coming off the credit that I've been building all summer, correct?
Absolutely.
That's the bank. Right?
Yep.
Huh.
So
Look at you all excited.
right.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So then, so let's. Here's a situation we're dealing with right now. Most of the folks we're signing up, obviously, they're going to be installed going into the wintertime.
Sure.
So and some folks will say, okay, well, I want to wait. Well, the problem with that is that the incentives are going away while
Right.
you wait.
Yeah.
So your worst case scenario is that we install you in the wintertime. You would not have that overproduction, that bank essentially,
Right.
to go through the winter. So your first winter, you're going to pay something. The panels are going to perform. They're going to generate a certain amount of power, but that production is for a year.
Right.
So once you go through that winter, and you might be paying Eversource maybe 20%, 30% of what you normally pay them. Once you get to spring, summer, and fall again, you've just gone through that full cycle for that year. So the next winter, you're all set.
Yeah,
you already have all that.
You got some
all
banked
that,
up.
yeah.
Now, is it an unlimited bank or is there a cap to it?
No, there's no cap.
No cap, so you
No
can just
cap.
bank.
Nope.
Wow.
Matter of fact, the excess power that you don't use, the utility company will send you a check for that after 12 months.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's them paying you instead of you paying them.
So say that again, because people have said, no, they don't send you a check. I said,
Oh, no, they absolutely do. Yeah. Your overproduction. The only difference is that. So the power that you bank and you use, like in the daytime you're banking and the nighttime you're using.
Yeah.
Right. Say it's $1 for $1 that's going on, selling. But the excess power, that the transaction works differently there. They're going to be buying that power from you at market rate, essentially what they feel like paying for
So
it.
if you're paying
So
11
it's pennies
cents,
on the dollars
right.
for the excess power. It's not a big money making thing, not for residential. So,
No, I get it.
but at
No, I
least
get
it's something back instead of you having to pay them. So,
Okay.
you know.
Well, let me ask you a question that probably most people don't really care about, but how does that work? Like, is there a special meter or something in the
Absolutely.
house and how it's
Right.
connected
Right.
to the
Right.
power?
Right.
Okay.
So Jimmy, they like, you know, they did at your house. They got rid of that old meter and they put in a net meter.
Okay.
And that's a meter that allows you to read what's being sold and what's being used.
Okay.
Now he gets a statement from Eversource with a couple of columns on it.
Yep.
Solar power generated, solar power used, and solar power sold back to the grid, and then that little tiny meter fee of $9.24 or something is still on there, because once you're on the grid, you can't get rid of that meter. So you are
Okay.
still
Yep.
paying for that meter. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Makes sense.
Yeah.
One of the things that I used to hear a lot of too, by another company that has the same first name, Solar, but I won't say the last name, that you have to actually have your roof redone before you have the panels put up, or no?
No, you don't.
Okay.
SunPower does a thorough inspection of the roof for structural integrity.
Twice. They came
Twice.
back to my house twice.
Wow.
Right. But it's best if you think that roof needs to be replaced before 20 years
Yep.
runs out,
Yep.
then it might be best for you to get that done then. However, let's say you don't have the money to do that.
Yep.
What would happen is we'll simply put provisions in the deal for you that will allow you to call into SunPower when you're ready.
Yep.
They will remove the panels, store them, and remount them.
Wow,
And
that's
we
great.
put something in there to cover that
Yep,
cost.
yep.
Yeah. So that's what I've done for my customers essentially, and that works out pretty well.
So they'll
because-
come out and take all that. for
Might
you
be a
and put it all back in.
$15,000 roof or something like
Right,
that.
right.
You want to wait a couple of years.
Sure.
The roof might have, maybe another 10, 15 years in it, so no sense spending that money right away.
Right. No, absolutely.
Hey,
That's great.
Have they ever installed? I'm just thinking of this right now. Speaking of roofs, have they ever installed? Are you equipped to install panels on a steel roof? Metal roof?
Standing seam only, not corrugated.
Standing seam only, not corrugated.
Yeah, it's a different type of panel.
right,
Yep.
right. Yep.
Yep.
Standing seam.
Yeah.
Yeah, because with all those channels and stuff in there.
There's a lot of liability with
Yeah.
the corrugated. It's not as sturdy as
Yeah.
the standing
It's
seam.
not.
Right.
I
So
agree.
they don't touch them. No.
Yeah.
They don't touch slate roofs either.
Oh, okay.
No.
Oh my God! I did a slate roof once. I was a laborer when I was
Okay.
living out in Long Island.
Yeah.
That is like, oh my God! I was looking for Charlton Heston next to me. I thought I was in Ben Hur. It is like the worst. Take the shell down into the truck. Moo. It's so freaking heavy. It's mighty.
I've never done one of those.
You
No,
never will. Don't
no.
touch it. That is an art. It's a total art.
Yeah, I would
All right.
imagine it would be.
Ay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Huh.
Good. I'm glad you don't do slate roofs.
Now,
Guys would quit on you. I'd quit on you.
so is there a standard rate for this, or is it dependent upon certain variables? How much does somebody pay versus?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to have an assessment done for that specific roof.
Okay. And
Yep.
what
No.
are they looking for? Like what comes into play?
So the orientation of the roof. If you have a more south-facing roof with say a single roof plane, that's the most ideal. If you have multiple roof planes, then it increases the cost because
Okay.
there's more labor involved in obviously working on different roof planes. Now, if your orientation is off south, you'll still have savings, but it's not as ideal as a south-facing roof one roof plane. That's the most ideal.
Okay.
And then you have to factor in the shade conditions at that locations, because if you have significant shade, it's gonna require more panels to offset the energy need.
Gotcha.
And that becomes a problem as well. So sometimes we end up having to remove a couple of trees. Well, Jimmy can tell you about that.
Yeah, man. That was awesome.
I remember him telling me, yes.
They're taking down some trees so they get more sun. And
Woo-hoo.
we can stick it to Eversource.
Yep.
That's why.
Yeah.
And less raking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have the orientation of the roof, you have the shade factor in there.
Okay.
And obviously their power needs, So we, once in a while we run into folks with electric heat.
Yeah,
and that's a whole different animal.
Yep.
Now we got to figure out if there's enough roof space to offset that electric need, because it might just not get you to 100%.
Right.
But even if you don't get to 100%, and you get 50% offset, 60% offset, that could be significant savings. I mean, I've done some quotes for folks, and the offset might have been 50-60%. It would save them $70 per month or so.
Wow.
And this is in year one.
Yep.
Because when you think about savings and 20 years, you're comparing one rate for solar, and you're comparing that to today's rate for electric.
Right.
Today's rate for electric is going to escalate.
Sure.
I mean, I think if you do some research, you're looking at maybe 7.5% on average. I mean, Eversource is a beast, right? I think they at 19%?
Something like that.
Some
yeah.
ridiculous number.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So you're stabilizing at least a substantial part of your bill. Even though a portion of it we might not be able to get you to 100% right now, but at least you're able to stabilize some portion of that bill, and you can calculate that savings over 20 years. It's a lot of money.
Yeah. So you can say for sure that if you go with the solar power, you're going to end up saving money.
You're going to
even with the rental and everything else. You're still going to end up at the end of the year save money.
Absolutely. So
perfect.
So right, but before, because let's say for instance, you decided do an assessment for me.
Yep.
It's really simple. I send your information into the engineering department, and they use a sophisticated software to measure shade, to measure the pitch of your roof and the orientation, all that stuff.
It's incredible.
Just all from pictures and stuff, right?
From satellite.
From satellite.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's incredible.
They send,
Yeah.
So they send that back to me, and you tell me what your usage is.
Yep.
Which will then determine how many panels we need to activate to offset that need.
Okay.
So once we do that, I can get right back to you and say, okay, this is what we're looking at. This is your estimate right now.
Yep.
What follows is that I'd have to come out, physically meet with you, take a look around, and then get SunPower's team to come and do an actual physical inspection.
Okay.
And then once they do that, then we're locked in, because now I can say definitely, okay, well, this is what your rate is going to be for the next 20 years.
Yep.
And you look at it, compare it to what you're paying right now, and you'll see the value there.
It's interesting.
It's just one less thing I got to worry about.
Sure.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's definitely peace of
And
mind.
Sure.
And I would hate that electric bill. I would hate it.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, you're kidding me.
God
Now-
bless my wife. She goes through those programs that she finds
Oh,
somebody
right.
that
The
will
supply
do.
rates?
Yeah. So last night or the night before, she was on the computer. She's like, we're going to go from 6% to like 20% or something stupid, because you're in those programs and you have to find another one to get out of and stuff. It'd save her a lot of time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's another supplier. We have direct
Right.
energy or something like that. Maybe I'll go back to Eversource because they're nice and high. And get that money back. Oh, you got to pay me 19% now.
yeah.
Sorry. How's it feel? Yeah, right back at you.
We love having them in Connecticut now.
Oh my God. Yeah. So as you know, I'm very happy with it. All the way from A to Z. I have no complaints whatsoever. Some people think that they're ugly. Jane thought that they were ugly, and
what does she think now?
she doesn't even look at them.
Right, they're on back.
You forget
Right,
them.
yeah.
You forget about it. And I don't really think they look that bad.
I don't either.
To be honest with you.
Yeah.
If you got a black roof and you've got that, you forget about them. You
Yeah.
forget about
Right.
them.
Right.
It's nothing like the old panels, because
No.
if you look at the SunPower system, if Jimmy looks at his roof, I don't think you see anything but the panels. Everything's internal.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So you're getting a custom install
Yep.
that comes standard.
Yeah.
If you look at older systems, you'll see plumbing sticking off the roof and
Sure.
a box here, a box there.
Yep.
With a SunPower system, the inverters are actually built inside the panels.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you have if you have an inverter issue, you're talking about one panel having a problem. If you have an inverter issue with the other systems, the whole system is down.
Wow.
Because it's one inverter, everything's
Right.
feeding into this one
Right,
inverter.
right, yeah. It's a
right?
chain. Yeah.
So that's not every system, by the way, but a lot of systems still use a single inverter. A lot of companies now are kind of moving towards that situation where the inverters are actually in the panels
in the
themselves.
panel. Wow. Nice.
So what happens if the system fails? I've got a 20-year lease on it. Or this was asked to me too. The technology of solar panels are getting much better now. You know, they have been. They've been getting better and better and better. So 10 years from now, all of a sudden, the efficiency rate is much, much higher. Can I request new panels, or do I have to stick with what I have?
Well, you don't even need to request the panels. It's going to be in SunPower's best interest to come out and give you the best thing that they have.
And then notify me and go, hey, by the way, we got
absolutely.
Cadillacs now.
Absolutely.
Put new Cadillacs in.
Yeah, but so yeah, to answer the question of the future, I mean, you know, the
Is
panels
that
are getting
a,
more
is that
efficient.
a is that a cost to me?
No. You whatever is written into your lease, that's what it is. What it is.
Great. There you go.
Yeah.
And as far as downtime, you started off asking, what if this, you know, the system isn't producing? Well, your production guarantee protects you.
Right.
And not to mention, so you have first-hand experience with reporting an issue and seeing the turnaround time on their response. It's pretty, you know.
Amazing.
SunPower is in the state of Connecticut. They moved in.
Oh,
Their
nice.
warehouse
Okay.
is in Newington. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we're not.
Great.
They're not subbing anything here. It's,
Right.
It's,
It's all local.
yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever gone to a house and said, no, I can't get your panels?
I've had situations where there was just too much tree coverage
Yep.
that it just didn't make any sense.
Right.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. And I'll tell them.
They're
Right,
honest.
I'll
Yeah.
tell them right then and there.
Yeah. No, I think
I'll
that's
tell them,
great.
listen, if you want to cut the trees, then we're fine. But
Right. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense.
it doesn't make sense. There are homes that it just doesn't make any sense because there's so much shade.
Right.
Right.
It's going to be cost prohibitive in terms of how many panels you're going to need to kind
Sure.
of just offset. It's just
Right, it's just not
doesn't
worth it.
work. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember, but yesterday I was talking about it, and there was a gentleman who came to me. He goes, "Geez, I go outside and they're at my door. They want put panels on my house so bad because it faces the south side of the house and there's no trees, no nothing." I said, "Well, get him in there." I said, "I've got the guy, I've got the company.
Yeah.
Just go check them out." You know, I'm on the fence. I should have asked him what his bill was.
Right.
You know, if your bill's $120 a month, then what? You don't need them,
Right.
right?
Right, I guess, yeah.
300 and change.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That is a lot.
So cut my bill in half.
Yeah, right.
I don't have to worry about nothing. And you're monitoring my system. Well, I should say SunPower's. If there's a problem, they'd make a phone call or they'd see it and they go, "Hey, by the way, Jimmy, we got to come back. We got a thing." But that thing is just running like a top.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So
So, like we ask everybody, any horror stories?
Horror stories, none that I've heard of. I mean,
No?
actually, Jimmy got me scared when he had his issue there
Right.
with the roof.
Yeah.
That's the worst I've heard.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
Hey,
but-
congratulations.
but it was like, yeah. So here you go. So I had a leak in my roof, right?
Right.
You might as well have told them, "Hey, we're on a boat. We got a leak in the hull,"
right.
Because they were all over it.
Yeah.
They wanted to find it right away.
Yeah.
And they went up there and they tried to find it and they didn't find it and they brought another crew in.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Hey, listen, we're going at this." They were like Rambos. And
Right.
They found it.
That's great.
And they're like, "What else you need? Just whatever you need."
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what was just awesome about it and the thing is too,
Uh-huh.
I didn't talk to a freaking computer. Dial 1, dial 2, dial
Right,
3.
right.
No, bang. It's like, "Hi, this is Jim. Hi, Bob, Eddie, Charlie's coming out. Whoever. Samantha's going to take care." What was her name? Natalie. What was the woman who's running?
Rebecca?
Rebecca. Sorry,
You were close.
Sorry. Good thing we're not in a bar. Hey, what was her name? But that's great. No, but she was like right on it. She emailed me right away. Bang. Emailed her back. Bang. This thing. Bang. 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 I mean, it's like there's a lot of people involved.
Yeah.
And that makes you feel
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
You know?
Yeah, he reached out to me, and I sent one email, made a phone call, and then everyone jumped on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, he was very, very happy. I mean, you talked about it last week, too.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
great
So-
customer service. That's phenomenal.
Super. Yeah.
All right, Nigel, coast to coast. How do they find you if they want to reach out to you?
Well, they could reach out to me directly. My number is 203-537-1921. Call or text. I'd be happy to help you.
Nice.
We'll put that on the website too.
Yeah, we definitely will.
So they'll have all that. We talked about this before the show, but we or myself, and we're all jazzed about it, just to educate the people across the country. And in Connecticut, we're going to go out on site one day. We're going to make this hookup. We're going to film it, and we'll put it on our website. How the panels, put it on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, absolutely.
How they work, what's going on.
Yep.
Talk to the customer.
Yeah, talk to the crew and everybody else. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Let's just do it before it gets too much colder.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Because
Whenever you're ready,
I'm
man.
not a
I'll
happy
hope you guys-
host outside in the wintertime. So, Nigel, it was great having you. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope you had a good time.
Pleasure being here, guys.
All right, guys, and we'll see
Awesome.
everybody later.
Yeah,
See you, Jim.
See ya!